Hello, my name is Andrew. Today, what I'll be discussing is who is Esau. Now, I want to break it down to y'all right now. Read Genesis chapter 25, verse 20 to 21. Esau and Jacob's mother was a Sylvian, and their father African, and they were not identical twins. Read Genesis chapter 25, verse 21 to 28. Esau and Jacob. And Esau came out red and hairy all over like a garment, and was a cunning hunter. And Jacob plus Esau are from two different nations. So basically what it's saying that Esau and Jacob were not identical twins. They didn't look the same. And they came from two different nations. Esau and Jacob. They came from two different nations. They wasn't identical twins. Esau came from the Greeks. Esau is the Greeks. Jacob is the Israelites. Jacob's name was changed from Jacob to Israel in the wilderness when he wrestled with the angel from night to morning. And more. Esau did not came from the serpent seed. He came from Seth's bloodline. Basically, Esau came from Isaac. He came from Isaac and Rebekah. Or Sarah. Can't remember her name. Excuse me. Esau looked like the mother, red and hairy, while his father was a Negro with short black hair and dark brown skin. So this explains why the Edomites' skin complexion is so light. Now, if you go on Google and type up what are Sylvians, Syiran, they're going to show you people. They're going to show you a nationality of people who are light-skinned and hairy. Esau basically looked like his mother, and Jacob looked like his father. And Esau was red and hairy. He had a lot of, but he had a lot of hair, and his skin tone lacked pigmentation. Read Psalms chapter 10. The poor hunted, and what the wicked does to the poor, and how they set up traps for them, but behave as well too. So now, when y'all see many of these plots and plans that's set up for the government, from eugenics to Willie Lynch syndrome, from moderating black-on-black crimes, which is part of the eugenics, and Planned Parenthood, abortion clinics. The nation of Edom has set that up. They set up these traps. They actually invented drugs and placed drugs in the African American community and other nationality community so they could sell it to their own people and try to get rich and get money from it. And meanwhile, these police officers who are part of the Ku Klux Klan, they locking them up by masses and placing them into slavery, which prison is captivity. And they placing them into slavery. And that's what's basically going on now. They set up traps for them. And how they would act and stuff. Now you know that many of these police officers who are Caucasians, who are in fact Edomites, are in fact in the Ku Klux Klan and other secret societies that don't like people of other nationalities and races. In fact, they are eager to send them to jail and set up traps for them. Even commit murder for the slightest things, such as carrying a pocket knife, or such as carrying a knife, or just for getting an argument with them. And the knife could be concealed. Excuse me, the pocket knife, it could be concealed inside of a bag, but they probably want to lock up someone who they don't like from a different nationality and have a reason to kill them over the slightest things. And this is what they doing now. They did it to Trayvon Martin and much more. Read the book of Isaiah, chapter 1. Edom judged it for their pride and wickedness, what they done, and for disrespecting God. So, this basically explains a lot what the nation of Edom is doing on this earth at this time, and why God dislikes them greatly as a nation. Because there's many demonic Edomites that are following after Satan and doing his agenda. And they've been doing his agenda on earth for a very long time. But not all of them. Some of the Edomites are Christians. Some of the Edomites are basically pagans. Some of the Edomites are basically atheists who believe in science and believe that they can discover God through science, and don't believe in that God created the universe and everything else. They believe a Big Bang caused it. So you got the psychologists, you got the pagans, and then you got the believers of Christ. And then you got, basically it's three groups of Edomites. You got the believers of Christ, you got the atheists, and you got the devil worshippers, who are basically pagans. Read Romans chapter 9, verse 13 to 24. God created people for his own will, the vessels of wrath and vessels of glory, to show his power through. Now, when you see what's going on in society, where these racist Edomites are ruling over different nationalities in their own communities and telling them what to do and what not to do, because they legalize laws and they unlegal laws, and they can in fact invade other people's communities, countries, and much more, because they got the military power to do it, and they got the financial power to do it. And they was placed above people to be vessels of wrath, to basically punish people for breaking God's commandments, which Edomites are a punishment from God. Read 2nd book Timothy, chapter 3, verse 2 to 5. How people would behave and practice vanity and lovers of themselves. So this basically explains how the Edomites, who are part of the leaks, act. How basically the elites act, who are part of the elites that are actually Edomites. It explains what they do and how they behave. 2nd book Timothy, chapter 3, verse 2 to 5. And it's not only just Edomites, it's people of all nationalities. They be practicing vanity, and that's how they basically behave. Masses of people. Read Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15 to 16. Esau sold his birthright for one part of meat, and is profane and fornicated person as Esau, a nation of them. So what this means that the nation of Edom is basically a profane individual. They posing as Christ. They posing as all the holy. They are posing as all of the holy apostles. Now, not all of the holy apostles were from Israel. There was different apostles from different nations, but they putting themselves up as the Israelites, these Edomites, and knowing that the Israelites had woolly hair and dark brown skin, and they was basically African. They wasn't Caucasian. And this is what these Edomites are doing. They've been doing this for a while. Putting images of Caesar Borgia up on up on pictures of the Bible, the books of it, even making images of these false Christs for people to worship them, and trying to make them believe that this is how Christ truly looked, knowing that Christ had woolly hair. He had white woolly hair and dark brown skin as brass. And then if Christ looked like that, with dark brown skin and woolly hair, then the Israelites had to look like that too, because he came from them. Read Malachi chapter 1, verse 1 to 6. Edom God hates and will destroy the nation, kingdoms, but Jacob God loves, and called it on the border of wickedness, and will lay waste their heritages, the Edomites, with dragons of the wilderness. So basically, what this is saying, that Edomites are the border of wickedness. They control a lot of these laws that are being passed and that are not being passed, because they want to live a certain lifestyle that they want to live, and they don't have enough respect for the Most High, and basically they are leading themselves on a path of self-destruction and leading others on a path of self-destruction. Because the wages of sins is death. And to rebel against God, as the result of it, is death. So many of these nations are being led to the slaughter due to the border of wickedness, which is Edom. And And many of them believe that Christ was a Caucasian man. And basically, Edom is a profane group of individual and a fornicator, a great fornicator as a nation of people. If you look what they did to different nationalities who they conquer, they always had a way with the women and the teenagers and so on. And they even had their ways with the mans. It's known as butt breaking. They did this during the time of slavery. Now, if y'all study up on the ancient history of Rome, y'all will know that the males who was elders always had sexual relationships with the children and teens, males of Rome. And basically, they are doing this in their kingdom right now in this century, like they have been doing always. And it's sad. I'm not trying to degrade no one, but it's the truth. America is full of pedophiles, excuse my language. It's full of rapists and child molesters. They have been doing this since they got here in North America and conquered the Native Americans. They have been forcing themselves on their women and children. And they even did it to the nation of Negroes. And not only just them, to other different nationalities. They have been doing this for thousands of years, even centuries. So this is who Esau is. He's basically the enemy of God as he's actually an enemy of God as a nationality. And but not all Edomites aren't bad. There's three groups of Edomites. They are the believers of Christ who keep his laws and obey him. And then there's pagans who worship devils and demons. And then there's basically atheists. So there's three groups of Edomites, three categories of Edomites. And not all Edomites are evil. But there's a good amount, there's a great amount of Edomites who are evil in these secret societies. They got them in the Ku Klux Klan. They got them in the Nazis. They got them in Skull and Bones. They got them in many demonic secret societies. And they got them in these homosexual communities. And people of all nationalities and following after the leadership of Edom. Later, y'all. And later.